Hey there, it is time for some real talk here on Steve Shetler Media with Aaron and Steve. We've got Pastor Aaron Fleming. My name is Steve Shetler. Hopefully you guys know me by now. We've got Aaron and Steve, real talk. I'm just repeating myself because I like to repeat the name of the show and our names.
We have very, very lovely names. Aaron, that's a good name. Steve, that's a good name.
Aaron's a good, solid,
and
manly name. You're the pastor over at New Life Community Church in Wellman.
New Life Community Church in Wellman. Yeah, if you live up in the Wellman area, come on up and join us on Sunday morning at 10 o'clock. We meet at the YMCA building in North Park. We'd love to have you with us. Steve, there's a lot of good churches in this wider area. You got
Sure.
We got Good Neighbor Fellowship over in Keota and Be the Light here in Sigourney and just all kinds of good places. But if you're from Wellman, give us a try if you're looking for a church.
Definitely. So it's been a little while since we've been together. What are you talking about? What are we going to be chit-chatting about today?
Well, I thought we'd go back to our topic from last week and talk about calling.
Okay.
What is your calling?
That sounds big. It sounds intimidating almost.
Sounds like if you don't know, there's probably something wrong with you. Oh no, I don't know what my calling is. No, I think a lot of people wrestle with this. Christians maybe have more of like that language, like I have a calling or I don't know what my calling is. But humans, whether they're Christians or not, humans seem to have a really deep need to have meaning and purpose in their life.
Sure.
So yeah, whether you call that your purpose in life or your calling or whatever you want to call it, I think we all want our lives to be about something more than day-to-day existence.
Yeah, because if you don't have that thing, your calling, then you're just kind of meandering around without purpose, maybe.
Yeah. So the first obvious question is, what is my calling? And I've been dealing with that for my whole life. So Steve, I would like you to ask me what my calling is.
Hey, Aaron, what's your calling?
I don't know. I mean, I've got some ideas, but it seems to be ever changing and ever expanding and like constantly in flux, at least a little bit of flux. Okay. So if you would ask me, I would say like right off the bat, I have a calling to try to get to know God and love God. I'm a husband, married to Melissa for 25 plus years now. And I think if you're married, that's part of your calling.
All right.
And I've got 4 kids. And as soon as you have kids, you have a calling to be a parent.
Yes.
There is, no matter how bad a parent you may think you are, I don't mean to say that you should think that you're a bad parent. For those of you who don't know, I know Steve's daughter. She turned out pretty great. So he and Stacy,
in spite of my parenting,
he and Stacy did at least a few things right. Yeah, you've got a call. It's the meaning of your life to help those little people become slightly larger people and then grown up people. And we're finding out here because our my son, your daughter, are pretty close in age. They graduated the same year, so just a couple of months apart. And parenting does not stop.
Yeah, it continues
when they leave the home. So, calling. And last week, I also introduced everybody to the idea that you're allowed to have a favorite book of the Bible. And my favorite book of the Bible is 1 Samuel, and it's in a stretch of books in the Bible where there is some real stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There is some. I've been doing a Bible study with some young men from the church, and we are reading what I call the worst stories in the Bible. I mean,
and what makes them the worst?
Gang rape,
all right,
genocide, violence.
Some more dark type stuff.
Yeah, people want to send a message, so they cut a concubine up into 12 pieces and send the pieces throughout the land. It's grim stuff. And if you grew up and you didn't go to Sunday school past about second grade, you may not know that these stories are in the Bible.
Yeah.
But our theme here is real talk. And one of the things that I have always loved about the Bible is it doesn't hold back on the real stuff, the grim stuff, the dark stuff. It's not, if you've never read these stories before, they're not graphic. Like there's not graphic depictions of sexual assault and genocide and stuff, but it's real. Like these are things that happen in the world. And I come around to the point that that's where we need God. But anyway, as we get through some of these terrible stories, there's a little bit of a break. And there's a story about a lady named Hannah. And I just want to share a little bit about that. And it gets kind of dark too.
All right.
Well, let's not get ahead of us. Let me just read some of this. There was a certain man from Ramathaim. Little Bible reading note here for our interested listeners. If you're ever, if somebody asks you to read the Bible out loud in church or something like that, and you don't know how to pronounce some of the words, you know what you do?
Just say it with confidence. Whatever you think it is, just say it with confidence.
Say it with confidence, because nobody else knows how to say those words either. So if you say it boldly enough, people will be like, oh, wow, he's a real Bible scholar.
Ramathaim.
No, it's Ramathaim.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So there was a man from Ramathaim.
Okay.
Or Ramathaim, whatever.
Sounds like a rock band from Germany or something.
Ramathaim. Yeah, it's kind of a hardcore band.
Yeah.
So he was a zoophyte, whatever that means. But he was from the hill country of Ephraim, and his name was Elkanah, son of Jeroham, the son of Elihu, the son of Tohu, the son of Zuph, an Ephraimite. He had 2 wives. Oh, that's just got interesting right away, right? He had 2 wives. One was called Hannah, and the other Peninnah. Peninnah had children, but Hannah had none.
Okay.
This is getting real.
Yep.
Year after year, this man went up from his town to worship and sacrifice to the Lord Almighty at Shiloh, where Hophni and Phinehas, the 2 sons of Eli, were priests of the Lord. And we're going to find out in just one chapter, these guys are stinkers.
Little stinkers.
They're some stinkers, and they're heading towards a grim ending. But you don't know that yet because we just started reading the story. But spoiler alert.
Yeah.
It's not cool. But anyway, whenever the day came for Elkanah to sacrifice, he would give portions of the meat to his wife Peninnah and to all her sons and daughters. But to Hannah he would give a double portion because he loved her, and the Lord had closed her womb.
Okay.
So she's childless. Now, the Bible scholars say that probably the situation that's going on here is that Elkanah married Hannah first, and after several years, she was not having children, and so he was like, "That's not cool. I gotta have some sons and daughters to carry on the family name."
Yeah.
Steve Shetler Media. Who will inherit the Steve Shetler Media empire? Clearly,
not a Shetler. Unless Riley gets married.
Yeah.
Or I should say, unless she stays single and keeps her name.
Yeah. Well, or she could get married and her husband could take her name so that he too can enter into the Steve Shetler Media. She ought to put that in a prenuptial agreement.
I crown you, whatever, Shetler.
Riley, I hope you're listening and enjoying our plan for your life. Okay. So anyway, back to the story here. We digress.
Yes.
Sometimes.
Always.
So probably what happened is Elkanah says, hey, honey, I love you a lot, but you're not having kids, so I'm going to take another wife and sleep with her and have some children. Doesn't that sound great? And I think that probably sounds great to no one ever in the history of the world.
Yeah.
Certainly, I'm not a woman, but I can pretty easily imagine as a man, I would not like to be shared
Yeah.
with another man.
Yeah. She probably agreed through gritted teeth. Sure, honey.
Yeah, or maybe she had no choice.
Yeah.
I mean, keeping it real. The fact of the matter is that we have power over lots of things in our lives, and then there's a lot of things that we do not have any control whatsoever over, like whether or not other people steal our memes. True story. Steve invented a meme that got Steve Shetler Media. How many thousand hits did you get?
For that particular one, probably about 120,000 or so. And then other people took it, and then they got like more than that.
Totally stole his meme, and you have no control because it's the internet and it's the Wild West.
Yep.
But having your spouse take another spouse beside you, like, that's a serious situation. So we read on, because the Lord had closed her womb, her rival kept provoking her in order to irritate her.
Okay.
In your face, I have kids, you do not.
Sucker.
Loser. Do you know this one?
I don't.
That's a I don't know.
Triple loser?
Triple mega loser.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the triple mega
The
loser.
TML.
This went on year after year.
And this was the other woman?
This is the other woman
Okay, all right.
provoking Hannah, rubbing it in her face all day long. I have kids, you don't. Ha ha ha. Year after year. And so we know that some of you listening have stuff that you've been facing that's out of your control. Maybe it's a health problem. Maybe it's a relationship problem. Maybe it's not being able to have children when you want to have children, just like in this story. Not enough money. Whatever it is, mental illness, challenges, bad habits, stuff. But this went on year after year. And whenever Hannah went up to the house of the Lord, her rival provoked her till she wept and would not eat. I don't know how often you get to the place where you're so sad that you can't eat, but that's really sad.
I haven't been there. I've never been that sad. But that must be pretty horrible.
Yeah. Personally, there was this one time long ago when I was dating this girl that I thought was really great. So I bought her a diamond ring.
Oh.
And then she broke up with me before I could give it to her.
Oh.
And so I lost a lot of weight in a hurry because I kind of quit eating for about a week there. That's a sad story, but it got better because then she got back together with me and we got married.
Oh,
so I was able to give her the ring, but I didn't know. Like, when you're in those situations, you do not know how this is going to turn out. And this is a woman who, like, for me, that was about a 4-month wait before Melissa agreed to start dating me again. That was bad enough. That stank.
Yeah.
But year after year, she would weep and would not eat. And then her husband, very sensitive guy. Check out what he says here. I think all of you guys are going to want to take tips here. Take notes. Elkanah, her husband, would say to her, "Hannah, why are you weeping? I mean, I know that I'm sleeping with another woman and having kids with her, and she's making fun of you all the time, but why are you weeping? Why don't you eat? Why are you downhearted? Don't I mean more to you than 10 sons?" And I'm pretty sure that she said to him, "Well, I'm obviously not worth more to you than 10 sons because you went up and married some other lady so that you could have 10 sons with her because I apparently wasn't enough."
Yeah.
This is a sad story.
It's a bad situation.
So far, this is a bad situation. And then it gets worse. Our listeners are like, why would anybody go to this guy's church? He's a really depressing preacher. Once, when they had finished eating and drinking in Shiloh, Hannah stood up. Now, Eli the priest, we'll come back to him next chapter, and he is also a stinker.
Okay.
This story is loaded with stinkers. Eli the priest was sitting on a chair by the doorpost of the Lord's temple. In bitterness of soul, Hannah wept much and prayed to the Lord, and she made a vow saying, okay, and this is where we're going to tie directly into calling. She made a vow saying, O Lord Almighty, if you will only look upon your servant's misery and remember me, and not forget your servant, but give her a son, then I will give him to the Lord for all the days of his life.
Mm-hmm.
And here's a tough lesson. Sometimes we got to go through some pain to find out what our calling is. I'm sure she grew up like most young women in that society. I want to get married. I want to have kids. I'm going to be a mom. My calling is to be a mom, which is a mighty and noble calling.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. Who doesn't need a good mom? But she did not understand, I don't think. She did not understand the true depth of her calling to be the mother of a special son until she had suffered for years. And that stinks because I don't like suffering.
Yeah. Suffering is not fun.
Nope. But the story is going to turn out pretty good.
Okay.
But I think we should wrap up for now. Let our listeners chew on this for a week. Just kind of wallow in those negative feelings of sadness and tragedy for a while. Loss
but know
and
that there is light at the end of the tunnel.
there is light at the end of the tunnel. So, hey, if you've got questions for us, put them in the comments. And if you want to hear more about Bible studies for young men, you can contact me. I've got some ideas for churches who want to get stuff going with young men. We're having a ball. I'm doing this with guys who are 17 to 23 years old, and it's just a ton of fun. I'm available to speak about to men's groups and stuff like that too. So just put that out there. But you guys have a great week, and we'll see you around soon.
All righty, that is Real Talk here on Steve Shetler Media.